We are back. It is a new year, and we will be going over our best and worst of 2024 and some predictions for 2025. It's gonna be interesting.
Let's do this.
Welcome to the Wrestling Council. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. I'm your host, Comic Book Bob. Joined as always by my good friend Hollywood Frank.
It's me. It's me.
But it is a new year. New year, new me. I was at the gym today, man. Oh my god, there were so many people there. It was freaking crazy, man.
I believe it.
Oh my god, dude. I did legs today, dude. I felt like, I walked out there, it felt like someone shot me. Oh god. But yeah. So it's been a very, very interesting in wrestling year in wrestling. We're gonna do our best and some of our worst. And you guys chime in with us and tell us what you think, what you thought. Hey, what's up, Maldacito?
Happy New Year.
Yep, Happy New Year, brother. Appreciate it. If you're on your way home, be careful, man. And but obviously, we took a couple weeks off. We had a lot of things to do and everything. A lot of people did their best of in the at the end of last year, but we're going to do ours now. And then, like I said, we're going to do some predictions and interesting stuff been happening, man. WWE did their debut episode of Raw on Netflix. AEW did their debut for their simulcasting on
Max,
TBS and Max. And of course, the IWC is just completely losing their crap, talking about who's better and who sucks and the ratings. It's you know what, man? It is what it is, man. You like what you like, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise, man. But it's been an interesting couple of weeks.
It has.
It has. I hope everybody had a safe New Year. Hope everybody's well. I know some people had some tragedies. Big Daddy in particular. Frank lost a pet. So a couple other people I know that are struggling with family members lost and whatnot. So hopefully this year brings everyone some comfort and good things going forward. And hopefully good things going forward for us on this channel and intentions to grow and continue doing this. But just give it a couple of minutes here, waiting for people to trickle in little by little. I was hoping John. There it is. I knew that was coming. I was hoping that Johnny would be able to join us, but he's probably got something major going on. Probably would have helped if I'd actually posted this in on social media. But
you did?
No, well, I did. I finally did just now. But anyway, but it is what it is, guys. What did you think? So what was the big thing that you took away from Raw last night?
Overhyped.
Overhyped? It did. It was kind of boring.
Yeah.
It was a little weird. One thing I did notice that I did like was once again, WWE, the thing that they do better than anybody, I've said it before and I'll say it again, is their production values. They were doing some really cool camera work last night.
Yeah, having to pander to all those people, come on. I understand.
Yeah, I mean, and it's clear that Netflix wanted certain things from them, judging from the show last night.
4 matches in 3 hours.
Yeah, it's not good.
And your Raw heavyweight champion is not on your debut show.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. It was a little, like I said, it was odd. Started off interesting. I liked that they brought back the old Raw theme. I thought that was kind of cool. There was a lot of member berries last night. There was a lot of that going on. But before we get into that, go ahead and get into our favorite segment, a little something we like to call the good, the bad, and the ugly. It is an even number, so it is me. It's me. It's CBB doing my GBU. The good for me, Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dream. I'm a New Japan guy. You guys know that. And this last weekend, we had Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dream. Wrestle Kingdom, which used to be a 2-day event, but they took it down to 1, and then they created Wrestle Dream, which took over as the second day, and that was presented this year as a joint show between New Japan, AEW, Ring of Honor, and AAA. And it was a AAA or CML. I can't remember. My brain just took a crap. But we got a couple interesting things that happened on Wrestle Dream. We got Wrestle Kingdom. Sorry, I'm pulling up my I'm sorry, not Wrestle Dream, Wrestle Dynasty. My brain, like I said, my brain took a crap.
Yeah, Wrestle Dream is AEW.
Yeah, I know. Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty. Wrestle Dynasty this year was a joint show. And some really good stuff that happened there. But the biggest thing that happened, the return of Mr. Kenny by God Omega. And he put on an absolute freaking just balls out banger with Gabriel Kidd. And I'm going to tell you what, Gabriel Kidd, that's a guy, I've been following Gabriel Kidd since he debuted as a young lion, like about 7 or 8 years ago. 6 or 7. Yeah, about 6 or 7 years ago, actually. And you could tell that guy was going to be something special, man. Like he was really going to be something special. And that match was fantastic, man. Some people were really upset because one of the commentators was basically running down AEW, but I think that was an in-character thing because that's what Gabriel Kidd was doing, and that's why that match came about, and it was fan-freaking-tastic, man. It's freaking awesome. Hey, Big Daddy, the Guardian of Chaos. Guys, check out Big Daddy's channel. I'm going to drop the link for it here. I came prepared this time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Came prepared. Go check out Big Daddy's YouTube channel, guys. Awesome guy. A lot of amazing insight. Been in the business for forever and a day. We call him the original learning tree because we gave him that title a long time before Chris Jericho started taking a crap on it. So, yeah, Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dream was awesome, man. Zack Sabre Jr. Like right now, New Japan is having a little bit of trouble. They lost a lot of their stars. Got poached by Tony Khan. But some of the young guys coming up, the young lions like Yota Tsuji and Gabriel Kidd, like I said, man, they need to make sure they hang on to that guy because he's going to be something special. He really is. And but he and Kenny Omega put on an absolute freaking banger. I'm going to tell you what, if anybody has any doubt who Tony Khan needs to push to the freaking moon when he comes back to AEW, it's Kenny Omega. Because that guy walked into that freaking stadium and everybody was all over that guy. It was amazing. So, Matositos, the big thing I took away was in your biggest U.S. Hispanic market, how do you not debut Penta and just show Rey Mysterio in the crowd, just being a billboard for Eddie, not his uncle who just passed away, and Dom doing nothing but be a joke. Yeah, there's some really weird stuff going on with that. One statement was that Penta was actually supposed to make his debut there, which would have been a big deal. Like, if you're going to debut someone, that's when you should do it, on a special show like that.
It would have, but They had to hype everybody else in the crowd and all the executives from Netflix and
all the stars and
bring out the Undertaker and bring out Hulk Hogan and bring out The Rock and
yeah, they made some very weird and kind of questionable creative decisions last night. So and the people and some people made some really good points about it. A lot of people who have kind of fallen by the wayside probably tuned in last night to watch their debut on Netflix. And if some of those people come back next week expecting, they're not going to get the show that they're expecting. And also we know that, usually when you have a debut like that, the crowd you get the next week is usually significantly lower. So it remains to be seen, but I'm not looking for them to fail, man. It's clear that Netflix wants certain things from them.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens going forward, but yeah, it was weird, man. I thought last night would have been the perfect time to debut Penta.
Well, next week versus Chad Gable.
I think it's going to be in front of a lot fewer people, and he's such a unique guy. So, but anyway, that was my good Wrestle Kingdom Wrestle Game. If you guys haven't had a chance to watch it, you want to see some awesome matches, check them out. The women's match was actually really, really good. But that friggin' dude, the Wrestle Dynasty is worth the price of admission just for that friggin' Kenny Omega match. That was something else. The bad WWE Raw on Netflix. I kind of struggled with putting this as my bad. It was boring. It was kind of boring to me. You know what? Actually, a better word is safe. It was very safe. They didn't try to in a new year with a new format, a new broadcast company. You would have thought that they would want to push the envelope a little bit, maybe try some new things, try to do some different stuff. They didn't, and 5 matches in 3 hours, dude.
4.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry, 4 matches in 3 hours. 4 matches in 3 hours. That's pretty bad, and that's bad even for WWE. That's bad. That's pretty bad. And they also made the announcement that they're going back to 2 hours for SmackDown, which I thought they were supposed to go 3-hour format for SmackDown for like the next 6 months, and then switch back. But clearly, it is what it is. But
who knows?
It's just I expected more from them on this because this is a big deal. This is a huge deal, and for them to put on kind of a lackluster show like this was just kind of odd. Leg Kick says, I'm in the hospital helping my dad out. Got business for him to do. We'll listen later, guys. No problem, dude. Hey, take care of yourself. Take care of your dad. And, like I said, be safe, man. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you stopping in, brother. So that was my bad. And then my ugly Hulk Hogan. Oh, my God, man. Always a controversial character, especially in today's age where there's a lot more information about things that have happened in the past. Over the years, here's the thing: when I was a kid, I loved Hulk Hogan, man. Loved him to death, man. And I was a Ric Flair guy, but I still loved Hogan. And but as years went on, and more of the politicking behind the scenes, and all those kinds of things came out. Became less of a fan, but I still recognize, how big of an impact he had on the industry. So that's something that can't be denied. But man, that crowd, and I don't know if that was just the wrong crowd to do that in front of or what, but man, yeah, woo boy. Now, from what I understand, people that were there said that it wasn't quite as bad as it sounded on television. They said that it was actually more of a 50-50 thing. Like there was a lot of people cheering for him, and then there was a lot of people booing him. But then there were also people that were chanting and stuff like that. And yeah, it was ugly. It was like, wow, man. They really made they really let him know that what they thought about him. But and of course, some people said it was political, obviously because he came out as a Trump supporter. But at the same time, the Undertaker was there, and they didn't do that to him. And he very clearly was MAGA. I mean, he had Donald Trump on his podcast. So I don't. I mean, I'm sure there were some people that were booing him because of that, but I think the majority of them were doing that just because of the things that they found out about him in the past, and the politicking and what have you. But it is what it is, man. But it was just, I kind of expected there to be a bit of a mixed reaction. I did not expect it to be as vitriolic as it was. So, but that's my GBU. What you got, brother?
Oh, let's see.
That man fought the Soviets, so you don't have to.
Huh?
You talk about Hogan. That man fought the Soviets, so you didn't have to. Oh, jeez.
Hulk Hogan, Jesus, H.
Yeah. That's not going to work for me, brother.
Nothing's gonna work for me, brother, with the Hulkster. First off, as Rob mentioned earlier, other than Rob, my sometimes broadcast buddy, my little cat Socks, passed away on Saturday. So unfortunately she won't be joining me on the wrestling council anymore, and it was very unexpected.
Yeah, like I said, man, pets are family, man. It sucks when that happens, especially right around the holidays like that.
So I'm not starting off the new year on a good note, but let's move on. My good. It's Tiffy time, baby. It's about time.
Good God, man. You know what? Here's what I say, man. It was a great cash in. It's a great cash in. Should have happened like 4 or 5 months ago. Should have happened a while ago, man. It took a long time.
But hopefully a nice long run for Tiffany Stratton. She deserves it. I mean, I think she was over a lot. Mm-hmm. Has been over a lot. I think she was even hotter a couple months ago, as you said.
Yeah.
But good luck moving forward. Hopefully she as Rob mentioned that you lost your brother. I'm sorry to hear that, Big Daddy. He said around the holidays, losing family, whether it's fur family or human family, it's the hardest time of the year.
Yeah, like I said, there's a couple people. Guy I follow, his name's Luke. His dad's in the hospital, had a stroke. A couple other people had some issues going on, so it's rough for some people, man. Just keep them in your thoughts, keep them in your prayers, and just try to soldier on.
Where was it? Oh yeah, it took me time. But it was nice to see. I mean, it's great to see her nailing Nia Jax, winning the title. Where do you go from here? Who knows? But I'm glad they got the title off of Nia Jax. To me, it's just.
I have not been a big fan of her run. I'll put it this way: she's been better she's been better this year than she's ever been, but she's also had some just absolute stinker matches.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get into that in a minute.
Yeah. For me, my bad was I just honestly wasn't overall impressed. Was not overly impressed with Netflix Raw.
No.
Yesterday, I just felt overhyped for what we got. I was expecting maybe a little bit more wrestling than 4 matches, and it just, like I said, just fell flat to me. I really, really hope I know he had a little segment he came out with. I don't want to see. I don't want to see him winning the Royal Rumble. I really don't. I don't want to see Cena winning the Royal Rumble and being a 17-time world champion. It doesn't help anybody because it's going to be a short run.
Yeah.
Is he going to as it stands right now, it's Gunther and Cody Rhodes as your champions.
Mm-hmm.
How does it help Cody Rhodes if Cena takes his title? How does it help Gunther if he takes his title?
It doesn't. But at the same time, I don't think either one of them is going to be champion at the end of the year.
No. The end of the year's already started, sir.
That's what I'm saying. At the end of 2025, I don't think either one of them is going to be champion.
Right, but if Cena wins Royal Rumble, he's main eventing WrestleMania, which is in April.
Yeah.
Do you expect Cena? Do you expect Gunther or Rhodes to lose the title before WrestleMania?
I think it's possible that Gunther does. And honestly, I think that's the belt that Cena will go after. I don't think they're going to put the undisputed Universal Championship on him.
I hope they don't put any title. I hope he does not win.
They're going to. They're going. I don't know if he's going to win the Rumble, but they're gonna put a belt on him before they. Like I said, I've got some predictions. We'll talk about that when we get to the predictions. But that involves one of the ones that I've got. So, but unfortunately, that's what I think is going to happen.
Please don't. Please don't. And then the ugly was the whole thing with The Rock yesterday. Beginning
completely burying that friggin' feud with Cody, man.
The end. Just go be on the board of directors and leave leave then. Like,
well, they had to announce that he was going to be on NXT.
Why?
You know why he's going to do? Because he's going there down there to give his daughter some support because everybody thinks she sucks.
She does.
She does. She's the worst general manager they've ever had. But that's beside the point. That and the fact that he's now an even bigger owner, bigger stock owner in TKO than he was before. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting year, man.
Yeah. And like they were supposed to have a segment with Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley at the end, but they brought out The Undertaker.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, the creative on this episode was weird. It was really weird. You think with 3 hours you could manage your time better than that? But like I said, I guarantee you that Netflix got in their ear, just like Warner Brothers is doing with Tony Khan. I guarantee you Netflix got in their ears and say, "Hey, we want this, we want this, we want this."
Yeah, and they want Cody Rhodes, they want Roman Reigns, they want.
They wanted The Rock. They wanted The Rock. They want the classic guys. They wanted The Rock. They wanted the Undertaker because Undertaker's podcast is blowing up, so he's popular. They wanted The Rock. They probably wanted Hogan too.
Yep. Yeah.
So
and now you got Hulk Hogan as the official beer sponsor of WWE.
How does Cody reheating his boring championship run?
How does he reheat his boring championship run? He turns heel.
Yep.
That's the best way to reheat it.
Yep. They're laying the groundwork for it, man. I'm telling you. We're gonna get Nightmare Cody before the end of it. Before the end of this year.
No, we can hold on. We're not doing predictions yet, brother. Hold on that.
I know. All right, guys.
You're putting little spoilers out there. We don't need to do that.
Right. That was your ugly, right?
That was my ugly.
All right. Thanks, guy. All right, that's our GBU, guys. Tell us what your GBU was, other than what you've already told us here. And all right, let's get into it, man. Let's start this thing off with a bang.
Bang!
With a bang. All right. Best singles matches for the men. Frank and I, we have different, like obviously different tastes. I'm a New Japan guy. He's not really.
No, not that I'm not. It's
Not that you're not, but you're not as
you're Mr.
steeped
New
in it.
Japan. You're
Yeah.
Mr. New Japan. Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and start off with the best singles matches for the men. My number 3, Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. at New Japan, the New Beginning in Osaka. This was the man who was considered to be the best technical wrestler in the world versus the man that was said to be the heir apparent to being the best technical wrestler in the world. And I'm going to tell you what, man, this match was fan-freaking-tastic. If you like technical wrestling, man, you good God. If you haven't seen this match, go find it. You could probably find it online somewhere now. This match, I wanted this match so bad. This was actually their second match. Their first one, I believe, happened at Forbidden Door and ended a little controversially because Danielson, it was supposed to be technical wrestler versus technical wrestler, and Danielson resorted to basically a beatdown to win. So they had their rematch, and Zack Sabre won. And this was when they were really starting to push Zack Sabre Jr. As before he had actually won the world title in New Japan. And Bryan Danielson crowned him the new best technical wrestler in the world after this match. And it was freaking great. Freaking great. God dang, it was so good, man. God, if you're, like I said, I'm a guy, like, I love character work. I love promos, but it's in the ring where I want people to really shine, man. And this was two of the best ever technical wrestlers you're ever going to see, just putting on a clinic.
Yep.
So that was my number 3. What's your number 3, brother?
My number 3 would be, it would also involve Bryan Danielson.
Cool.
But it would be Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland for the AEW world title at All In.
All In. Great match.
And great back and forth match. Brie and the kids at ringside.
Yeah, it was awesome.
A little bloody there. Just back and forth.
And that's the kind of match where I don't mind you getting color.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of match you should get color in.
At the end of the day, Bryan Danielson became your new AEW world champion. And I just thought it was a banger of a match. Probably the best match of the show that night.
Oh, easily.
And, he's not a full-time wrestler anymore. He hasn't even been in the ring since he lost his title, but hats off to Bryan Danielson. One of the best technical wrestlers there ever has been. And, he deserved an opportunity to be world champion. I know he didn't want to be. Tony Khan talked him into it, but
yeah, Tony wanted his DNA on that title.
Yeah, damn, that was a good match.
It was a great match.
But only number 3 for me.
Only number 3. Okay. Hey, I hear you. All right. My number 2. This is going to be a little controversial. I don't think it'll be as controversial as some people think. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Hell in a Cell. Bad Blood 2024. Bro, I have been very, very critical of WWE, especially when it comes to Hell in a Cell. It probably my displeasure with them probably culminated in that absolute dog crap Hell in a Cell match between Seth Rollins and the Fiend. Where, I mean, how do you have a DQ in Hell in a Cell? Okay, it friggin' sucked. It was awful. And Hell in a Cell had just lost a lot of its mystique over the years. When CM Punk came back, he was like, I don't want to be on a pay-per-view called Hell in a Cell. I want to have a Hell in a Cell match. That's what Hell in a Cell should be. Hell in a Cell should not be a pay-per-view. It should be a match. And it should be very few and far between. And when they happen, it should be brutal as hell. And that's what this match was, man. This was the culmination of their friggin' feud, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful to behold, man. Best match that Bryan Danielson has had since he returned to wrestling, and it was the best Hell in a Cell match that I've seen probably in a decade, at least. But yeah, it was everything you wanted in a Hell in a Cell match, man. And this is the way it needs to be done going forward. So that's my number 2, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell.
Great match.
Dude, it's awesome.
My number 2.
Yep.
Well, my number 2 would be Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson, Wrestle Dynasty.
Nice. Cool.
Just back and forth. Danielson targeting that elbow. Ospreay with a kick to the ribs. Tiger suplex. Just Tiger driver. Just as Bryan Danielson again. But Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is right now, I mean, one of the best wrestlers in the world. And I'd probably say the best acquisition Tony Khan had in 2024.
Oh, hands down. I mean, people can talk, what about Mercedes? And I don't think Mercedes has been booked very well. I don't think her creative has been very good. I think some of her matches have been good. And it's in the ring where they really need to focus on her because that's where she shines. But overall, man, Ospreay has been it. Okada's fantastic. He's fantastic in the ring. He's got great presence, but you don't want to let that guy do his own creative, which is what they're doing. And because he likes doing goofy stuff. And Tony Khan should have insisted that book him as the Rainmaker, like the way he was in New Japan.
Yeah.
Because the way that they're booking around, like I love the fact that I love the heel character part of him, but the goofiness and that whole thing with the Elite was just terrible. But yeah, Ospreay has been a freaking machine.
Yeah. So. I'll talk more about Ospreay in my predictions, but right now, just again, you the best technical wrestler now retired, Bryan Danielson, and versus up and coming, not even more up and coming. He's here. It's just how big a rocket Tony straps onto this guy, and which is what I would do.
Oh yeah,
make him the face that runs the place, and just do what I have to do to make Will Ospreay the man in AEW.
Yeah, the core that they need to build around, in my personal opinion, man, Ospreay, Omega, Strickland, and MJF. Those 4 guys should be the top 4 people in your company.
Yep.
And we'll see what he does, but
that was my number.
We know he's high on Ospreay, but we'll see.
That was my number 2.
All right.
What's
my
your
number one? My number 1 is your number 2. Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson, the AEW Dynasty. Dude, this match, this match whipped a Mountain Lion's ass, dude. This match was awesome. Good God, this match was so good. And it was such a dichotomy of styles too, man. Because you got, like you said, Bryan Danielson, who's absolutely one of, if not the best technical wrestler alive. You've got Will Ospreay, who's just one of the most athletic people in the business, and you could tell that these guys were feeding off of each other in that match, man. And the story that they told in that ring, and as frenetic as the pace of this thing was, when it needed to slow down, it slowed down, and that crowd was freaking into it, man. You had 60,000 plus people just losing their freaking minds. So, it was fantastic. It was like, I can't really say any more than we've already said about it. It was, in my opinion, it was the best match, hands down, bar none, last year. That was my number one.
And my number one was your number two.
I didn't feel like we were gonna do that, man. It was like we're just gonna miss each other by one.
Hell in a Cell, Punk versus McIntyre. Man, when he split him open with that toolbox.
Good God, dude. That was like I said, man, Hell in a Cell. Like, I'm not like, I think guys like Moxley, they get color way too often. And if that happens, it doesn't have the impact that it should. But in a match like Hell in a Cell, man, if you're not getting color, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, and that's what it should be. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're like, yeah, nothing, and then like maybe a scratch, something like that. No, there should be a crimson mask.
Yeah,
and
yeah. Do your Ric Flair impression, brother.
it's hell in a cell, not
it's in the freaking name.
not just a little match in a cell.
God, man, Hell in a Cell has been so bad up until then, man. I'm so glad that you need guys like Punk there to be like, remind them like this is the way things are supposed to be.
And yeah, you don't need a Mick Foley, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell.
No, God, no.
But
where you're legit wondering if one of them died.
But damn, you gotta have color in a match like that.
Yeah, and you just gotta go balls out, man. It's Hell in a Cell. Like I said, it's in the name. It should be the most brutal freaking match you've ever seen, and it should not be a pay-per-view. It should be very few, far between, one a year at best, and just have the impact that match is supposed to have.
Yep.
But yeah, it was great. Go ahead.
Bracelet aside, I'm glad that shit's over, but damn.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole bracelet thing was stupid. But like I said, man, this match, the way it culminated, the way it went down, dude, sign me the hell up. It was so freaking good.
But yeah, I mean,
your
3, my 3. I mean,
yeah. Other than our number 3s, we had the same. We had those two matches, man.
Yeah, and you can go either way, 1 and 2, 2 and 1. I mean, not taking anything away from your 1 and my 2. 1 and it's just
right there. Like I said, man, when you have matches that good, you're just looking for like that one thing that kind of clicks with you.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, I'm such a big fan of Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay. That's kind of what put me over on that one. Man,
just the sheer gore of Hell in a Cell is what put me.
The glory of it, man. Just be reminded of like that's what a Hell in a Cell match is supposed to look like. But cool. All right, what do you guys think? Hey, guys that are watching in the chat and everything, tell us what you think your best singles match for the men was this year. All right, for the women. All right, this was a little tougher, man, because I'll be honest with you, women's wrestling kind of took a hit in 2024. Outside of a handful of people, because there's some amazing talent. We did manage to get a couple good ones. I think one of mine is going to be pretty kind of little controversial, but hey, it's what I think. My number 3 women's match: Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander at AEW World's End. This was hands down the best match that Mercedes Moné has had since she showed up in AEW. 110%. This is the kind of match that she needs to have on a regular basis. Okay. This is the kind of match. Okay. And like I said, they need to get somebody on her. They look, you being in charge of your own creative ain't working. We need to start building things up for you. We need to start doing things like that. But as far as the in-ring work is concerned, this is the kind of thing that they need to start expecting from her. This match was really good. This was like I said, this was the best match she has had since she showed up in AEW. And it sucks that it took this freaking long to get there. She's had a couple decent matches. The one she's had with Stephanie Vacour, that one was good. But this was hands down the best match that she's had. And this is the kind of thing that she needs to do going forward. But that's my number 3.
I can't disagree. That's my number 3 too. Mercedes versus Statlander. Set the length for the longest match in AEW, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, there hasn't been a whole lot of great women's going on this year. I mean,
It was rough.
yeah, because you lose people injuries and
Yep.
whatever. You don't have Becky Lynch, you don't have Charlotte, you don't have Rhea Ripley for a while.
Yeah.
And then
There was
people
there was yeah there was like half the roster in AEW's women's division was down.
yeah,
But it was just and like, don't get me wrong, there was some really good character work, especially in WWE.
and the long debut of Mercedes.
Fucking God.
So the fact that she is on our top 3 goes to show how good Mercedes can be.
Yeah, when she's cooking, she's cooking.
Yeah,
And like I said, where she truly shines is in the ring. That's where she needs to be 90% of her time.
the whole thing with her and Camille and her on
Oh,
the mic,
boy.
it's just
We're going to talk about that later.
no.
Yeah. But what was your number 3?
That was my number 3. Same.
Same thing. Oh, hey,
Yeah.
Twinsies there, man. All right. So my number 2, Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander at All Out. Willow Nightingale is a future star, and I'm going to tell you right now, if Tony Khan doesn't start pushing her a little bit better, and really start thinking about and working on ways to keep her, Triple H is going to poach the hell out of her. He's going to steal her away. And I'm going to tell you right now, and here's the thing: I like AEW. I like the in-ring. I got problems with the creative and whatnot. Issues like that. But as far as the in-ring work is concerned, man, they've got amazing talent over there. That kid is something special. And that that series of matches that she had with Chris Statlander, the one at All Out, that was a great match, man. That was one of the best women's matches I've seen all year. And like I said, like there's other people that may have had a better match if they're there, but we had a lot of injuries, like you said. Things just, but things being what they were, that was one of the best women's matches I'd seen all year. Could have had better setup. Could have been done as far as storytelling was concerned, a little better. Once they got in the ring, though, they were cooking.
Right. Now me, they did. I think there's a little bit better storytelling than maybe the match wasn't as good as that one. But my number 2 would be Mariah May versus Toni Storm at All In.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, storytelling wise, I think that match was way better.
Yeah.
In ring, not quite.
Yeah. But overall, I mean,
mm-hmm.
storytelling match. I mean, you gotta look at everything, and close with Statlander and Nightingale, but
yeah,
Toni Storm with her timeless, Mariah May turning on her and setting up that match.
It was the best storyline that AEW did all year.
Yeah, women's.
Yeah.
And like I said, with all these people being hurt and things like that going on, and everything with just a flat year, I think with women's wrestling, I think that would be my number 2.
Cool. Yeah, it was that was like, I would say from a character standpoint, that was probably the best thing. That was one of the best things that AEW did all year. The timeless Toni Storm character was the best character in professional wrestling.
Yes,
last year, hands down. Which is why Toni Storm's the kind of person you can let her kind of have a hand in her creative, because I think she's an extremely creative person. Mercedes not so much. I'm interested to see where they go with her going from here. But yeah, she's kind of She's the new Matt Hardy. Just creating characters out of thin air, man.
Hey,
But all right, number
whatever
one.
gets you over.
Yep. And it was over, dude. That was one of the most over gimmicks in AEW. My number one, Bayley versus Io Sky, WrestleMania 40. This was a great match, man. This was one of the best matches Bayley has ever had. And you guys know me. I've always been real high on Io. I think she's hands down one of the best female wrestlers in the world. And maybe, like I said, sometimes they do things creatively with her that I don't agree with. But when they get in the ring, man, and they start cooking, she's one of the best. And she's the odds-on favorite to win the Women's Royal Rumble this year and challenge Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. And I'm here for it, man, because I think Io's great. But this is kind of Bayley. Like, Bayley's at the point in her career that she's probably going to start winding down, and due to like injuries and things like that. But what a way to go out, man! She was awesome in this match. This is fantastic. And but that was I personally think that's the best women's match all year. Yeah. Bayley versus Io at WrestleMania 40.
Hey, Frank and Rob. Adam, thanks for joining us, man.
Appreciate it, bud.
Twinsies again so ditto. Best women's match of the year. Just with everything with Damage Control and them turning on Bayley.
Yeah.
And then setting this up.
It's a good way to like pivot away from that whole thing too, because initially that Damage Control storyline was awful.
Yeah. Well, it's not as bad. It's
not as bad as some stuff, but it wasn't good either.
Yeah.
So
it's not as bad as what is it? Pure Fusion Collective, but
yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later.
But just the whole thing with Bayley and Io Sky, one of the Sky Pirates,
mm-hmm.
her and Kairi Sane. And I wish they'd put them back together, give them their Sky Pirates gimmick back. Because that's a team I would love to see tag team champions if they're going to do something with them. Rather than
I don't know, man.
Rather than Naomi and Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair trio they got going on right now.
Yeah, the thing is though, everybody that they put those freaking women's tag belts on,
somebody gets hurt,
something bad happens to them.
Yeah.
So those belts are cursed, man.
But the Io Sky Bayley, hands down, best women's match of the year.
Yeah, it was great. It was, like I said, I think it was the best match of 2024 for women. All right, let's move on. Best tag team matches. This tag team wrestling this year was weird because we still have just amazing tag teams out there, man. Just absolutely amazing tag teams. But tag team wrestling this year, it took a hit too. It was weird. We didn't get 2023 tag team wrestling was at an all-time banger high, dude. Like 2022, 2023 tag team wrestling was bonkers. This year, there was some good matches. That, like I said, we'll talk about them, but the impact that they had it wasn't there. It wasn't the same as it was the last couple of years. But for me, again, I'm a New Japan guy, so a lot of you guys probably didn't even see this match. But my number 3, Clark Connors, Drilla Maloney versus Kyosai Fujita and Robbie Eagles in the Super Juniors Tag League in New Japan. Nobody does tournaments like New Japan. New Japan has the absolute best tournaments. They do the best tournament wrestling in professional wrestling, period. Don't get me wrong, there are other tournaments and other companies that are great, but nobody does tag team. Nobody does tournament wrestling like New Japan does. And this year, the best of the Super Juniors, the Super Juniors tag league, it was awesome. man. I've been following. Clark Connors is another one of the young lions I've been following for a long time. And he had a great year. And then this match, Robbie Eagles is another one of those guys. I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't end up signing with AEW because he's another one of those smaller guys and the smaller high flyer guys that Tony Khan seems to favor. But he's remained loyal to New Japan. So, but this was a great match. If you guys like tag team wrestling, I definitely suggest checking it out.
My number 3 best tag team match of the year. I thought it was a really good match. Was the Young Bucks versus Private Party.
That was a good match. That was the best match Private Party's ever had.
Yeah, and just having Private Party, we're just at that point. We're just getting tired of the Young Bucks being champions, and
Dude,
it was just like, somebody please take these damn titles off of these guys.
I would have cheered if it had been Satnam Singh and Jeff Jarrett. Who took those freaking belts off of the Bucks. That elite takeover storyline was so dead in the water from day one. Especially after Tony Khan shot it and took it out in the back and shot it in the head like Old Yeller. But yeah, we desperately wanted those belts off of the Bucks.
Yeah,
and we got a good match out of it.
We did, and them putting their careers on the line if they lost a match. Talking about Private Party, and you actually thought your prediction was that that Private Party was going to lose.
I thought that they were going to lose. I thought they were going to split them up as a tag team, and I was like, well, if you the thing was. I didn't want them to split them up as a tag team because I have the same concerns with splitting them up as a tag team as I do with the Acclaimed. Like, you're going to split these guys up and you're going to push one of them. He's not going to go very far, and both of them are just going to fall into obscurity.
Yep.
And that was exactly what was going to happen to Private Party. But we got them. I do wish that they would push them a little bit harder than they have. Like I said, tag team wrestling in 2024 was weird.
Yeah.
But I was glad to see them win those belts to get them off the Bucks, and it was a good match.
And so that was my number 3.
Number 3. All right, my number 2. Speaking of the Young Bucks versus Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. This was a really good match, man. This is the kind of match that the Bucks used to put on. And it was kind of a throwback. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that Will Ospreay is the kind of guy that can get a good match out of damn near anybody. This was the kind of match that you would expect to see on a pay-per-view. That's how good this match was. And obviously it pushed that storyline, which I still think is one of the better storylines that AEW's done last year, which was the Ospreay Fletcher storyline. Kyle Fletcher is another guy that I think is going to be he's an up-and-coming star. He's going to be a big deal. It's another one of those young guys that Tony Khan better try to hang on to, because I guarantee you Triple H is looking at that kid. He's salivating, thinking about pulling him out and bringing him over to NXT. But great. It was a great match, great storyline between Ospreay and the storyline between Ospreay and Fletcher was what really kind of pushed it over the top. The Bucks, when they want to, man, they can perform. They can still perform. And you're in there with Ospreay, who's one of the best wrestlers in the world today. You got Kyle Fletcher, who's one of the best up and coming wrestlers in the world. This was an awesome match.
My number 2 would be Darby Allin and Sting versus the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks theme going on here.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the first half of the year before they started doing this goofy ass friggin', elite takeover thing, they were still doing what they did, man. They were still having decent matches, good matches. It was just that storyline was just choking the friggin' company to death.
And putting the titles on Sting and Darby Allin. Mm-hmm. Some of those bumps that Darby Allin took.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you something right now. As much as I like that match, that bump that he took through the chairs with the plate glass,
Yep.
I'm like, bro, this is one of those times when I wish Tony Khan had actually had a set of balls, and he told them, "Look, man, we're going to use breakaway glass for that. Sometimes you got to protect these dudes from themselves. I've said this a million times. Darby Allin is going to be in a wheelchair before he's 40.
Yeah.
Okay, if he's not dead. So
depends on whether he goes to Mount Everest or not.
But it was great because it was Sting's last match. It was him finally retiring for good, and it was a hell of a way for him to go out, man. I was happy to see it, and yeah, the bumps in that match were crazy. God, Lord, man, dude, that like if we did a highlight reel for like the craziest bumps, that'd be a contender for number one.
Yeah.
Good God. But yeah, good choice. Good choice for number two. All right. So, and in fact, it's such a good choice. It was my number one. My number one, Sting and Darby Allin versus the Young Bucks and Revolution 2024. I've been a Sting fan since I was a kid. I love the fact that he came there and he gave that rub to Darby Allin and helped build him up even bigger than he already was. Brought that mystique there. Even though he did not want to win the belts, I have no problem with them having them win these like that. Everything that happened after that, yeah, I have a problem with that. But this match by itself, it was awesome. It was awesome, man. Sting, and like I said, I don't like when my heroes kind of stay too long, but at the same time, I understand it. I get it. And letting him go out on his own terms like this was great. It was awesome. And there was very heavily emotionally. The reaction was great. And the freaking God, that bump. Gee, good Lord, dude. I know with younger guys, like Darby Allin is the man. And that dude's got balls the size of Saturn, dude. But good Lord, he did not. His back looked like he went through a friggin' meat grinder after that match. He was bleeding from about 500 different places. But yeah, amazing. It was a great match. It had a fantastic impact. It was a big deal, and I think it was the best tag team match of the year.
Yep. And keep that Young Bucks train rolling because your number two is my number one. Young Bucks versus Fletcher Ospreay.
Yep.
Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Yep. All prayers and love to you, Big Daddy.
Yeah. Stay safe as well. And my condolences to you on the loss of the family, your brother there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We'll be thinking about you, man.
Yeah.
Take care. Yeah, it was that dude, like I said, Ospreay is a megastar in the making. Kyle Fletcher is one of the biggest up and coming guys. Like I said, I guarantee you Triple H is looking at that kid and he's just like, oh yes, when that contract is up, I'm gonna drop a check with a whole bunch of zeros in front of that punk. So
I don't think Tony can match it. I mean,
I'm gonna tell you what, man. That the mystique of going to WWE, man. And like I said, Kyle Fletcher he just gets better and better every day.
He does, but I know he's real close with Ospreay.
Yeah,
and Ospreay had a chance to go there and said, nope.
Well, here's the thing: Ospreay's still young too, so I guarantee, like I said, Ospreay went to the place that was best for him right now.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's not going to end up in WWE. Okay, and like I said, every wrestler dreams about having that WWE run. So, well, 99% of them, like Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston doesn't give a crap if WWE burns down tomorrow. But
if you ask,
I would be surprised.
Sting, he would take back that he went there.
Yeah, but then again, they made a bunch of promises to him, and then they went back on it. So
Yeah.
It is what it is. But all right, so that was our best tag matches. So let's see here. All right, so let's go with our best wrestler. So we're gonna speed it up a little bit because we're starting to get long here.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'll say all three of mine, and then you can say all three of yours.
Okay.
Best wrestler for the men's. My number 3, Cody Rhodes. You can't deny the year he's had.
No.
You can't. You can't deny the fact that guy left. When he left WWE, they told him, "Here's your ceiling," and he went and he left, and he was like, "Screw you! My ceiling is up here." And he left, and he made himself undeniable. And he came back, and we had a 2-year storyline building him up, and yeah, it was his year, man. It was his year. Number 2, CM Punk. Bro, you want to talk about somebody who came back and made an impact? This dude made an impact. Now you can have your opinion on whether or not you think he's a hypocrite or not. And I'll be honest with you, he is. He is. He spent the last 8 years talking crap about WWE and how awful they were and blah blah blah, and then he turns around and goes back. But you can't deny the impact the man has had. You can't deny it. He's a megastar.
Yep.
Okay. And he brings an impact with him. So, he's undeniable. But number 1, man, the guy that has had more 5-star matches than anybody in the last 5 years, the guy that I think is eventually going to go to WWE, and he is this generation's Shawn Michaels. Will Ospreay. I think Will Ospreay is the best wrestler in the world today, right now, overall. And I think you look at the body of work, I think it's undeniable. But that's my 3 best men wrestlers in the world. What you got? Of 2025.
I agree with you. Number 3, Cody Rhodes. Had a tremendous run since he's been back in WWE, but they haven't done enough with him with the title.
They haven't pushed him as the main guy. That's still Roman Reigns, and I think that has hamstrung him a bit.
It has,
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why he's number 3. My number 2 is not the same as yours. My number 2 is Gunther.
He had a great year too. He's had a great. The last 2 years he's been great.
Going from Intercontinental Champion to World Champion.
Mm-hmm.
From where he was at a couple years ago, where he was overweight, still could wrestle, but he
was a wrestling machine.
Yeah, he wasn't anywhere close to physical condition he's in now, and for them to give him the opportunity to be the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion and to carry that over into the world title, there's a lot of respect for what he can do inside and out of the ring, and I give Triple H a lot of credit for giving him that opportunity.
Yeah,
because I don't think Vince McMahon would have.
No, and like I said, man, to be fair, I think the last few months where they tried to make him a tweener, I don't think that works.
No.
But I still think that he's one of the best. He's one of the best there. Like I said, he's a throwback. I've said before, he's a throwback in the best way possible.
Yeah, number 1 for me, Will Ospreay.
Yeah,
same as yours.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. Every list I've looked at from other companies and whatnot, that's the guy. You can't deny his performance in the ring. Like I said, wherever he was going to land this year, whether it was going to be WWE or AEW, he was going to be a big deal. He was going to be a big freaking deal. That's why Triple H was so freaking mad. That's why he was so mad when he went to AEW. And that's why they said what they said. That's why he had that little spat at WrestleMania. Because of all, I think he wanted Okada, but if he didn't get him, okay, fine. Mercedes, whatever. Ospreay's the guy that they wanted. They wanted him, and they wanted him bad. And the fact that he didn't get him, that rankled the shit out of him. So,
Yep. So that's my
yeah.
3-2-1.
Yep. Leg Kick says his 3-2-1 is John Moxley, Cody Rhodes, and Will Ospreay. Yeah. Yep.
Can't argue with that, man.
Can't argue with it, man. He said that match with Clemmy. Yeah. Oh God, dude. That match, like I said, that was in my good. That match between Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd, that's worth the price of admission for Wrestle Dynasty. So go check it out. It's awesome. All right. Women wrestlers. This was a little harder. Like I said, women's wrestling took a hit this year, but there were still people that I think had a big impact. And so my number 3 women's wrestler, Io Sky. I still call her Io Shirai because that's her freaking name. Every match that she's involved in, she steals the spotlight. Okay. You could say what you want about her character work. You can say what you want about her mic skills. Her mic skills aren't, she can't speak English very well. I think she's got great presence, but it is what it is. But one thing you can't deny is her in-ring ability. And when she's in the ring, man, she cooks. And that's just the way it is. She ends up stealing the show in every match that she's in. Again, can't deny the year that she's had as far as character work is concerned, and as far as the impact that she's had is concerned. Rhea Ripley. She's been the person, she's been the woman in WWE, hands down, bar none.
Yep.
I would say personally, as far as like in-ring work is concerned, and as far as career is concerned, I would say Bayley had an awesome year. I think she had like far better matches than Rhea Ripley has, but then again, you look at the people that Rhea Ripley's been in. There's no disrespect to Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan is not the person in the ring that someone like Bayley is. But I think Rhea Ripley takes it because of the character work and because of the impact that she's had. And then number 1, the best women's character in professional wrestling in 2024 was Timeless Toni Storm. The best character in women's wrestling of the year. And there's no one else is even close.
Nope.
And that's my 3.
Yeah. My 3 are the same with the exception of Rhea number 3, Io Shirai number 2, and Tony number 1. Mm-hmm. Just because Rhea being out for
about 3 months,
her orbital bone injury, that's pushes Io to me to number 2 over Ripley.
Mm-hmm. I can see it.
When Ripley's there, she's the best in WWE, the best they have right now.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with Toni Storm, the entire year, the Timeless Toni Storm storyline, that is the best storyline that she's ever been involved in. And just hands down, that was what we've been waiting for from people have been waiting for from Toni Storm. And she never got the opportunity in WWE, so I'm glad she got the opportunity in AEW.
Yeah. Like that line was freaking hilarious. She, as a character, forget the fact that her in-ring work was good. As a character, dude, she was head and shoulders above everybody. Leg Kicks 3 was Mina Shirakawa, Io Shirai, and Toni Storm. But yeah, dude, it's like I agree. I think she's had an amazing year, and I look forward to seeing what she does going forward. So that's our best. All right, let's do a little bit of the worst before we wrap this up. Okay, worst matches of the year. All right, my 3. Man, there were some stinkers to pick from.
Yeah, there was.
Number 3, Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan at Crown Jewel. Holy freaking crap, this match sucked. The finish on this match was like, what is this? what is going on here? This match was so stiff and so out of sync, and it was like this is the match where I was like, Nia Jax needs to go. Like Nia Jax needs to just go. This was awful. It was so bad. This match was dog shit. And you could tell, man, the crowd was like, even the crowd was like, and this is in Saudi Arabia where they cheer for damn near everything.
Yeah.
Big Boom AJ or whoever that goof is. Yeah, like I said, man, there was a lot to choose from this year. But that was my number 3. Number 2, and knowing how good these two guys are, you would never have thought this, man. Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso at WrestleMania. That is going to go down as those two guys are going to live with that as the most embarrassing match of their lives, because that's a match that should have been a freaking banger. Should have been a banger, and it was just a sloppy, hamstrung, jerky mess. And nobody can explain it, because everything that they did after, everything they did before it was great. Everything that they've done after has been great. But that match, I still think one of them, I still think Jimmy was high. I think he was blitzed out of his friggin' gourd, man. That's the only way I can explain this. It doesn't make any sense. But their timing was so bad. It was all over the place. So I don't know what happened, but it was awful. But number 1, and this is a match that literally made me freaking pissed me off. Billy Gunn versus Jay White. How are you going to put Billy Gunn over Jay White? This is when they were feuding. This is when they did that whole thing where they were going to have the match that combined the trios titles from Ring of Honor and AEW, and Jay White was languishing in the background instead of being Jay White should have been in the international title scene at the very least. Okay, Jay White's one of the best heel wrestlers in the business. Okay. You've got him in a match with Billy Gunn, and you have Billy Gunn go over him? Are you kidding me? What is this dog crap? This is one of those matches where, I'm like, what is... Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Jay White is better than Billy Gunn ever was, even if Billy Gunn was in his prime. Okay? How are you... This match... Like I said, this match, even now I'm talking about it, I'm getting freaking pissed. It makes no goddamn sense. This match killed Jay White's momentum. Absolutely murdered it. Took it out like I said, took it out in the back, and Tony Khan took his momentum, Jay White's momentum, out into the back and shot it in the head. Those are my 3 worst matches of the year.
Wow, my 3. The whole tag match, R-Truth or Awesome Truth versus APL, or what is their name?
The friggin' faction with
the Final Testament.
Final Testament, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Akam and Razor, like he's good Lord. Oh my God.
Yeah, he definitely was a bad booker in that moment.
What the hell was that all about?
That whole thing that they've done with them, the Testament, is awful.
Yeah. Number 2, Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan at Crown Jewel. Good God.
It was so bad. I wasn't expecting a lot from that match, but I was expecting better than that. That was the drizzling shits, dude.
It was. Jesus. Why?
I don't know, man. Because Nia is The Rock's cousin.
Yeah, and what's even worse, you talk about Saudi Arabia is they're talking about doing the Royal Rumble in 2026 in Saudi
Boy,
Arabia.
there's a lot of people pissed off about that. Let me tell you.
And my number one worst match was Jimmy versus Jay.
And it's so weird because just saying that, you're like, they're so, especially Jimmy. I
Yeah,
mean, especially Jay. He's so over, and they're so freaking good. And then they're brother, and then they work together so much. They know each other inside and out. The only thing I could think of is that one of them was freaking high. That's the only thing that makes sense.
had to be.
It's like their timing was so bad. They missed once. They missed spot after spot after spot, and it was just like you could tell the frustration was building. And it's like, what is? Even the crowd's just like, what's going on here? It was just, and it hasn't been addressed. So,
Nope.
but yeah, it was pretty awful. And there was a lot to choose from too, man. A lot to choose from. So the last thing, biggest fails of 2024, and then we'll make a couple of predictions, and then we'll be done here.
Yeah.
And my God, was there a lot to choose from? For me personally, so before I get in my top three, here's my honorable mentions. The Pure Fusion Collective. Why? Well, what? Literally nobody knows what the hell this is supposed to mean. What it is, what does it mean? It's the lesbian group. That's the only that's literally what everybody was coming up with. And I was like, I don't think that's what it is, but I think that's like they didn't know what to do with them. And this is just a bigger part of my other honorable mention, women's wrestling in 2024. What the hell happened? Women's wrestling in 2024 took a massive hit. Massive hit. And I know some of it was due to injury. But as far as creative is concerned, man, both AEW and WWE dropped the ball hard. Just dropped the ball hard. Outside of like 2 or 3 storylines, that was it. And then my last honorable mention, AEW's The Undisputed Kingdom. Talk about the biggest nothing burger ever created in the history of mankind. I don't know what the plan is with them, but they need to figure something out because they have taken an absolute dump on these guys. And they're talking about some of the most talented wrestlers in the business. Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, those two guys are amazing.
Yep.
But and when they did the whole Undisputed Kingdom being the tool of the devil and that, why didn't they book them as the most vicious, dominant heel group in the entire company? That's how you put something like that over. But they were just glorified jobbers. It was awful. But all right, so my 3 biggest fails for me: the Elite versus AEW. What in the freaking hell was the idea behind this? The whole corporate elite taking over, doing the Jack Perry thing, beating up Tony Khan and supposedly taking him out. And then Tony Khan is right back 2 weeks later because his ego wouldn't allow him to let anybody think that anybody else was running that company but him. And just the Elite putting on some of the worst matches that they've ever put on and just being the most one of the most go away heat friggin' things I've ever seen. Like I said, we were so desperate for them to get those tag belts off, get all those belts off of them, that we didn't give a crap who won. We wanted them gone. We just wanted it gone. We wanted it over and done. Number 2, airing the Punk versus Jack Perry footage from All In was, in my opinion, one of the stupidest things that AEW could have done. AEW was just starting to heal from all of that debacle. They were just starting to move on. People were starting to forget about it. And they turn around and they dredge this whole damn thing up. And part of it, I think, is because of the Ariel Helwani interview where Punk basically went off and told his story about what happened. And then Tony Khan because Tony Khan has this idea in his head, and he's wrong, by the way. He has this idea in his head that no publicity is bad publicity. All publicity is good publicity, even bad. He's wrong. And airing this, all it did was open that wound back up again. It made AEW look stupid. It made him look like a clown. And it further degraded the fan base of AEW, who are like, we don't want to watch this crap. And that's what caused AEW to take a hit in the ratings. And I'm going to tell you something right now. They can say whatever they want. I guarantee you, if that situation with Punk doesn't happen, if Punk is still with AEW, when it comes time to renegotiate with Warner Brothers Discovery, I think they get $200 million a year easy. Losing that situation with Punk hurt them. Okay. Yep. Don't get me wrong. The deal that they signed, it was a big deal. It makes them the second most successful wrestling company in history. It's a lot more money than they had before, but it still hurt them. And it hurt. And dredging this up hurt them again. It was stupid. And number one is a 3-way tie. The original Rock Cody angle where for 2 years we're pushing Cody Rhodes to be the guy to dethrone Roman Reigns. He comes through adversity. He tears his freaking pec off the bone, makes his comeback, wins the freaking Royal Rumble. Oh, I'm not going to challenge. Oh, but I'm going to challenge for a title, but not today. Because Dwayne Rock Johnson decided that it should be him. Okay, and let me make this very clear. I want to see The Rock versus Roman. I still want to see it. But nobody wanted it to come at Cody's expense, and especially at the expense of a 2-year-long storyline. This was a dumb move. Okay? Now, WWE did something that they did what they do best, and they pivoted hard, and they pivoted well. But the initial backlash from this was 100% warranted. Second in the tie here, the Jon Moxley Death Rider storyline. What is this dog shit? What are we doing? Let me make this clear. I like Jon Moxley. I really do. And I think that this storyline could be something. But right now, I don't know what the hell it is. What is this? I don't know. Every freaking week he just comes out and he says some weird shit and then walks away. And I'm like, and we're left looking at Marina Shafir and hoping to God she doesn't speak. I don't know, man. They either need to shit or get off the pot with this storyline because I don't know what they're doing with it. But the thing that I think takes the cake in this, now that I'm looking at all of them, man, I'm the learning tree. Chris Jericho's learning tree gimmick makes me want to freaking put a gun in my mouth. This is the stupidest. I don't give a crap, though. It's one of our most watched 70. It's dog shit. This friggin' gimmick sucks. Okay? And more than that, he's got 2 guys playing toady to him who should be whooping ass. Okay? Bill Morrissey, this is just more evidence that Tony Khan either hates big men or doesn't know how to book big men to save his freaking life. Bill Morrissey, Big Bill, should be killing people. Bill Morrissey I think he's 6'10". He's a freaking monster. And you've got this dude acting like a goofball as Chris Jericho's freaking toady and losing to guys like Hook who weigh 145 pounds. What? What is this crap? And out there grinning like a friggin' idiot. Look, I like Chris Jericho, okay? I think he's one of the best ever. I've liked Chris Jericho since I first started watching him in WCW. This sucks. This is awful. And having him win titles is freaking stupid. Okay? I understand that they're trying to get a Ring of Honor deal. Here's the thing, though. The last time you tried to get a Ring of Honor deal, you put the belt on Jericho and it didn't help. So I don't think it's going to help this time either. So, but yeah, those are my 3 biggest fails of 2024.
Oh, 5, but
Yeah, well, yeah, technically 5, but God, man, when you've got this much to choose from. All right, what you got, brother?
I'll drop it down to 3.
Okay, good.
3. And I'm tossing this back and forth, which number 3 is going to be. But 3 for me is Punk versus Perry all-in footage.
So dumb.
Why you need to release that, I don't know. They didn't Punk threatened me. Where? Where did they show that in the video?
My life was in danger.
Oh my God.
Jeez. Yeah, dude, he made himself look like a clown.
He did. And it's just, come on, dude. It didn't get you over with anything. It didn't make you look like Punk was endangering you at all. It didn't do anything to help AEW. It didn't do anything to for Jack Perry to make him look like he was a victim in any of this stuff. It's just like, come on. It's just didn't do any favors for AEW.
No, it just dredged up bad thoughts and bad memories. Made everybody hate everything.
Yeah, my number 2 would be, as you said, the whole learning tree stuff with Chris Jericho.
God, it's so bad.
Good Lord.
It's so bad. This is the worst thing. This is the worst idea he's ever come up with.
You put the title on Jericho when he started AEW 6 years ago.
Yep.
He's not the answer for Ring of Honor.
No, he's not.
If that's all you've got to try to get a contract through with Ring of Honor, then Ring of Honor's might just put it out to pasture, because you're hurting it more than you're helping it.
Yeah,
with Jericho.
Just turn it into the new version of Dark, put it on YouTube, and use it to develop people. Because if this is how you're planning on getting a friggin' TV deal, this ain't it, son.
No. A Samoa Joe, somebody like anybody other than Jericho.
You know who would have been a great to put in charge of Ring of Honor and build it up? CM Punk.
Yep.
But there you go.
And on my worst angle, whatever angle, as you mentioned, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, or Cody Rhodes, The Rock. I mean, that you were going to have the Royal Rumble winner. Oh, I'm just going to step aside and maybe I'll challenge Seth Rollins for the runner-up title.
So friggin' dumb.
You didn't put the title on him at WrestleMania 39.
And people lost their shit.
You're building up to finish the story for WrestleMania 40, and you were going to pivot and put The Rock and have Rock take the title off of Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I don't get it either. And again, to their credit, they pivoted from it really well, which is something that WWE usually does really, really well. So I give them credit for that. Yeah. But the idea of that and thinking that was going to work and that was going to go over, no way in hell, man.
It's as bad as when they weren't going to put the title on when he was in there, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
As he was called in WWE. The fans just went ape shit for that. And they had to pivot, and the fans were revolting against The Rock versus Reigns at WrestleMania. It's like, come on.
Yeah. And it's not that we didn't want to see Roman versus The Rock.
No,
We did. We just didn't want to come at Cody's expense and at the expense of a storyline that they'd been building up for 2 freaking years.
and if you're gonna finish the story, it's gonna be at WrestleMania.
Yes,
If
it
you're
has
going
to
to
be.
push to finish the story at this year's WrestleMania, to build it up for 2.5 years to finish the story, you'd have lost all the momentum that you had.
And
like nobody would have cared.
And it could not be for Seth's belt. It had to be for Roman's because Roman's is the original belt. When you trace back the lineage, that's the title that his dad tried to win and lost.
Yeah, nobody would have cared if it was at WrestleMania this year in 3 months from now.
Well, it would have still been big, but that wouldn't have been anywhere as big as it was.
No, because Roman Reigns wouldn't have had a title.
Nope. It would have been, it would have been, it's just, it had to be Cody and it had to be that, and it had to be then. It had to. Okay. So that's our best and worst of the year, guys. Real quick, the last thing we're going to do is a couple predictions. You got any predictions for next year, Frank?
Yes, sir.
Hit me.
Who? The new Dogface Gremlin will be a world champion by the end of the year.
Braun Breaker will be world champion before the end of the year. Okay. That's not a bad prediction. You got any other ones?
Of course. Will Ospreay will be world champion by the end of the year.
Yeah, I think that's a given. Unless Tony Khan's a complete freaking idiot. Ospreay's got to be the world champion by the end of the year.
And
give me one more, baby.
I don't know when it'll happen. I really don't. But at some point, maybe I could be wrong, Shane McMahon will show up in AEW.
That's actually one of the predictions I had. I still think this thing with Moxley is got Shane involved with it. I still think it does. I just think that they're waiting to debut it. They're waiting to push it. So I think that's it. But all right. So I got a couple predictions. I got a couple of those safe ones, and then I've got like a couple of like crazy off the wall ones. Okay. First one, John Cena will win a world title to pass Ric Flair in his last match, his very last match in AEW. So what's going to happen is this
WWE.
Entire year,
AEW.
I mean, in WWE, in this entire year, he is going to try and fail, and then in his last match in WWE, he is going to succeed. And then he will vacate the title and they will have a tournament or something to determine the new world champion after that. I don't think it's a good idea, but I definitely think it's going to happen. So that's the first one.
And if he loses, if he vacates the title,
yep.
Will there be a tournament involving the Nature Boy? Because he wants to wrestle another match.
Oh, sweet God, I hope not. I don't want to see him die in the ring. Yeah, I know Flair is technically 22 times, but they're saying it's 16. Another prediction. Shawn Michaels will become the creative director of SmackDown, and CM Punk will take over as creative director for NXT. I think that happens this year. So I think with Hunter being pushed into the position that he's in, I think this year then Punk, and he's been working with all the guys in NXT. He's made it very clear that that's what he wants to do, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to give him the shot.
Nice.
And another big one. I think WWE finally has its crossover with UFC, and Conor McGregor will join the WWE. I think that happens this year as well. I know it's a bit of a crazy one.
It's a little bit.
Yep. And then okay, and here's the it ain't gonna happen, but it might happen. The Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks will leave AEW to either return to New Japan or join WWE. I think that happens. And Kevin Owens, a.k.a. Kevin Steen, leaves WWE and signs with AEW. Okay, so this isn't going to happen, but it might. But that's my crazy prediction, and that's the craziest of the predictions. I got a couple other ones here, like the WWE fans after talking all this crap about how AEW fans turned on Cody and drove him out of the company. The WWE fans will legitimately turn on Cody Rhodes this year, and he will turn heel and return to being the American Nightmare. And this is another controversial one. Tessa Blanchard will join NXT and win the Women's World title. And those are my predictions for 2025. Guys, we appreciate you being here with us. We went a little long today. But we haven't been, we haven't done a show in 2 weeks because we were out for the holidays. We wanted to give you guys, actually 3 weeks. Yeah. But we wanted to give you guys, Vince McMahon will open a new company. I think that's going to happen no matter what. I don't think it's going to be a wrestling company though. I think it's going to be like some kind of like bodybuilding or something like that. I think it'll be something. It won't be wrestling. Or like a media group or something like that. But I don't know why he's doing that. He's almost 80. But so yeah, appreciate you, man. But we appreciate everybody that's been watching. Appreciate everybody that stopped in here, guys. And like I said, check us out on YouTube as well. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell us what your predictions are for 2024. What your best and worst was for your predictions for 2025. What your best and worst was for 2024. Like I said, guys, always check us out here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's up?
One more.
Oh, one more prediction? Okay.
Julia will win the Royal Rumble.
Really? You don't think it's Io?
Nope.
Really? Okay.
Julia will win the Royal Rumble.
They've been building it up to be Io, but okay. Hey, man, if they pull a pivot, that'd be pretty cool. I'm down for it. But check us here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We are also going to start releasing daily videos, just talking about news stories. And thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate it. And Scattered Wrestling Federation. That's good. Oh my God. That's awesome. Anyway, but appreciate everybody being here. Leg Kick, Maldacito, Big Daddy, Chris, everybody else, everybody that lurked, everybody that was watching. Appreciate you guys being here. We will see you guys.
Adam, thank you for being here too, brother.
Yep. And we will see you guys next Tuesday. Have a good one, guys. Bye.